Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, the basketball edition. First of all, I want to give a heartfelt shout out to the newest members of MVP, members of the Adrienne Ross Show channel. We've got BR55, Erie Cliff, Ulysses Miller, and Marlene Smith. Again, the newest members of MVP, but also want to say thank you to those who have signed up for Rookie. We're continuing to grow. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then click that join button next to the subscribe or subscribed button on the channel, and you'll see the options there for membership. Always appreciate your support. Also hit the subscribe button because you want to be dialed in. Hey, if you are not catching my unconventional awards, you're missing out because we're having a good time. We did the first one, which was really funny. The second one came out last night, or actually in the wee hours of this morning. So there'll be more. Like I said, it's a series. We're unfolding them. Don't miss out. What's up? Don't miss out. Check out the unconventional awards for the WNBA. Now to today's topic. If you are like me, you first became acquainted with Caitlin Clark because there was all this talk about this amazing shooter. Like she could shoot the ball from the parking lot, or as one commentator said, from the future. The logo 3 became the thing to say in reference to Caitlin Clark. And then as we got to watching her, we realized, oh my goodness, this young woman can pass the heck out of the ball too. And of course, she led the WNBA in assists in her rookie season. But let's look at the shooting. I have often heard Caitlin Clark's name mentioned in the same sentence with the one and only Larry Bird. People talking about how Caitlin reminds them of Larry Bird, especially old school people who've been around and in this thing for a while. So I wonder if Caitlin Clark, who is just getting started, okay? And all the accolades and all the records she's broken, like she breaks a record every time she steps on the court. With all of that, I gotta go. She's got to get better. I want to know if perhaps she will find herself in one of the prestigious clubs that Larry Bird found himself in, not just once, but twice, and some other players, which I will point out, and which was only done once in the WNBA as far as I can tell. And that is the 50-40-90 club. But before I get to that, let's talk about some of the similarities we hear about between Caitlin Clark and Larry Bird. Well, first of all, they were able to captivate audiences. He was able to draw in large audiences. Clark is able to draw in large audiences, and drawing attention to the women's game. The scoring ability is what I'm talking about and what I'm going to focus on. They can score from anywhere on the court. The impact on the game is huge. They're both considered among the greatest basketball players of their time, which is saying a lot because Caitlin Clark, again, is just getting started. But you hear her name mentioned right alongside the word GOAT because the impact of the game is there, the scoring ability is there, and they are making a mark in a historical way. And then, of course, you've got the race issues, which it shouldn't be. This is basketball, but we know when Caitlin Clark entered the league, Asia Wilson was right in on it, talking about the privilege, saying it boils her blood when people say it's not about race with Caitlin because she knows it is, etc. Well, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, he basically said he had white privilege. He said he was misunderstood. I did a video about this recently. He said he was misunderstood because he got a whole lot of backlash. And Larry Bird he was gracious about it and said, I'll take him at his word. But there was that whole tension there as well. And then, of course, the rivalry. There was a serious, real rivalry between Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Bird playing for the Celtics, Johnson for the Lakers. And that rivalry increased the popularity of the NBA, which increased the salaries of the NBA players. Well, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, some people like to say that they have a rivalry. I really don't see it as a real rivalry because I think you got to have two participants to be a rivalry. And whereas Angel Reese seems totally fixated on Caitlin Clark, you get the impression Caitlin Clark ain't studying Angel Reese. So I don't know, but Angel manufactured the rivalry, and the media is complicit, and it helps the league, I guess, and all that. So drawing more eyes, more fans, and seriously more tension, if you will, in some ways not healthy, but in other ways good for the game, I suppose. So again, similarities, but the shooting, but the 50-40-90 club. Is Caitlin able to shoot 50% from the field, 40% from three-point land, and 90% from the free throw line in one season? Is she able to do that when she is just getting started? It's rare that it's been done in college basketball, in the NBA, and Larry Bird did it. And once, like I said, as far as I know, at least the first one I know was in 2019 in the WNBA. But first, again, we're talking 50, 40, 90. Well, what did Caitlin do in her first season? Let's take a look at how she did and how close she came to that 50-40-90 club. And hey, maybe it's possible, even though it's rare. This is Caitlin Clark, after all, who continues to do the things that some people didn't think she could do. Right, Gino? Okay, let's take a look at what she did. Okay, so you can see here, there's a whole lot of numbers here, right? It's not eye-friendly, but this is Caitlin in her career, which is one season, of course, with Indiana, playing 40 games. She had, let's go to what I'm talking about, which is her field goal percentage. So she shot 41.7% from the field. 41.7. Remember, we're talking about the 50, 40, 90. So she's 41.7 on the 50. Her three-point percentage is 34.4 on the 40 that she would need. And her free throw percentage is 90.6. Okay, 90.6 on free throw percentage. So she meets it here. And she meets the 90, and the 40, she's at 34.4, and at the field goal at 41.7. The question that I want to know is, can she be named alongside Larry Bird in this category, in this club, like the other things I mentioned? Can Caitlin Clark do it? And how soon in her career do you think she can be in the prestigious 50-40-90 club? Now, let's go to some other facts about that and how rare that is. Only 11 collegiate players have recorded a 50-40-90 season. Let's look at the NBA. Now, in NBA history, 9 people only have done it over a season. And of the 9, I believe there have only been 3 who have done it multiple times. One of them is the person we're talking about comparing with Caitlin Clark, and that's Larry Bird. He did it twice. Then there's another player we also hear Caitlin compared to, and that's Steve Nash. He did it 4 times, 50-40-90 season. Actually, he narrowly missed doing it 5 times when he shot from the free throw line 89.9% in 2006-2007. He was 1 free throw away from 90% from the line. But four times is huge, okay? So Kevin Durant also had a 50-40-90 season, and he had 2 of them, and they were 10 years apart. Can you imagine? 50-40-90, 10 years apart. The 2012-2013 season and the 2022-23 season. Talk about remaining in your greatness, okay? Steph Curry, Caitlin is Steph Curry-like, right? He's the only one to get a 50-40-90 season while also averaging over 30 points per game. The only player in the history of the club, that prestigious club, to lead the league in scoring in the same season, recording 30.1 points per game on 50, 45, 91 splits, as you would say, in the 2015 to 2016 season. So rare in collegiate, rare in the NBA, definitely rare to do it multiple times. And how possible is it that Caitlin Clark could also join that club that Larry Bird and Steph Curry and Steve Nash are in? Not too bad. She was 41.7, 34.4, and 90.6. Now going to the WNBA, as I mentioned, the first time it was ever done, the only time I believe it was ever done, was Elena Delle Donne, who became that player to record the 50-40-90 season in 2019. Let's take a look at her stats that season. Okay, you can see this right here in the middle here with all these numbers. So it was 2019. Again, Elena Delle Donne in 31 games. Her field goal percentage, remember it's the 50 right here. She had 52%. And then 3-point, the club needs 40. She shot 43% from 3-point field goal. And her free throw percentage, 97%. She made 114 of 117 free throw attempts. So she hit that club in 2019, 50, 40, 90. That's saying something when we understand how rare it is. It's sort of like that triple double too. People are like, oh, what's the big deal? No, everybody, it takes so long. Somebody make, a rookie to have a triple double. Caitlin did it once, and she also did it again. She did it twice, the first and second time rookies ever done. So with Caitlin developing her game, do I think it's possible that Caitlin Clark can join Larry Bird in that conversation, that she can join Steph Curry in that conversation, that she can join Steve Nash in that conversation? Yeah, I do think so. Listen, she came into this season after playing through the NCAA season, through the tournament. They didn't get a break till the Olympics. They had the toughest schedule ever. And you know what? They didn't have they didn't have an opportunity to gel like they're doing now. The coach was still in over her head as far as I can tell. And yet Caitlin Clark was able, after a slow start with all those factors working against them, and I just shared with you what she did there. So I do believe she can do it. I do believe she could be that next player since Elena Delle Donne to do it. You know what? Because the Indiana Fever, how do we make this happen? The Indiana Fever, they need another point guard. They need to find, I'm Erica Wheeler, we like you. You're a great teammate. But like I said, we need another point guard so that Caitlin can get rest, so she can have fresh legs. So that part will be huge. And the substitutions, whoever the coach is coming into this new season, because I already told you who won't be the coach. Whoever the coach is, you got to make sure that you're subbing properly so that she can rest those legs so she can be fresh. We also need a coach who can make adjustments, who can free up Caitlin Clark so that she's open. And that's going to be important, that we free her up, because a lot of this running around and getting banged and bruised and stuff and just running off screens and people trying to, all this stuff, and a coach who can't seem to get her free, you're expending a whole lot of energy. And you need the fresh legs. We need opportunities to get her good shots also. So you need a coach who can get her good shots. And as she gets better shots, as she gets proper rest, as there are great rotations in the substitutions, we're going to see that shooting percentage go up even higher. We know that early in the season, she even said it, the coach even said it, her confidence was lagging a bit because it was a tough schedule to start, a lot of losses, and that has a way of wearing you down. Okay, nothing fun about losing, and nothing fun at all, especially about losing repeatedly. So yeah, I think with some different factors in and her working on her game she gonna come back even more of a monster. Y'all think they woke a monster during the Olympic time? We ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. So I like that 50, 40, 90. She can already do it, the free throw. She can do that in her sleep. Well, anyway, I just started thinking about the comparisons between Caitlin and Larry Bird in so many ways. And then running into this 50, 40, 90 club information. And then they brought in Steph Curry, whom she's also compared with, and also with Steve Nash. So yeah, what do you think? What you see, Caitlin's ability, her shots, do you feel that she can, look, I just share with you how rare it is. Do you see Caitlin Clark being the kind of shooter who can knock down 50% from the field in a season? I believe they had to have like like with the free throws, I think they had to have taken 100 free throws, for example. So there's some criteria. So it's not like Larry Bird took like 4 shots and he hit 2 of them, right? He was shooting the rock. Caitlin's got to shoot the rock. Okay. Can she hit 50%? Can she hit 40% from 3? Can she hit 90% from free throw? Yeah, right. And for those who would say, well, it's not about the stats, it's not about that. Listen, when you got your Caitlin Clark and you got a Kelsey Mitchell on your team, even a Leah Boston under the basket, okay, Leah, she wants to shoot threes, she can shoot threes, but that's not her primary role. But no, it's not about stats for stats sake. But if you can consistently knock down 50%, 40%, 90%, it's going to add up to wins. We're talking here. Who did I name among those? Who did I name? I named Larry Bird, winner. I named Steph Curry. I named Steve Nash. These are not players buried at the end of a bench. Obviously, these are not players whose efficiency doesn't affect their team in the sense of wins. Let's get us a coach that can set up the right situation to put Caitlin in the best position to excel and to utilize her strengths, and everybody else also. And you know what? This Indiana Fever team with this new president, new GM, new coach, yeah, they can do some stuff. And I believe the sky's the limit for Caitlin Clark as well. Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. It does matter. Share with your friends, all the good stuff. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.